Tired of short cast? These tricks will unlock massive distance. And if you fish with a spinning reel, this is the stuff that keeps you from spending half your day fighting wind knots, loops, and short casts that don't even reach the fish. Here's why it matters. When I'm fishing for speckled trout, redfish, or flounder, I catch probably 80 to 90% of my fish way out there near the end of the cast. Not right at my feet, not halfway back, but way out there. So if you can cast farther, you cover more water, your bait stays in the strike zone longer, and you flat out give yourself more chances to get bit. Hey, I'm Captain Kevin, and you might just learn something new here today. I'm going to show you the exact spinning reel casting steps I use to get longer casts, stop wind knots, and keep my bait fishing instead of picking out a mess in the braid. Let's get right into it. This is my Shimano Stradic spinning reel, and I've got it on a medium heavy spinning rod. Now some folks might think medium heavy is too much rod for that light lure, but I like it because it gives me more backbone and leverage. I can throw a 1/32 ounce jig head, an 1/8 ounce spoon, or a soft plastic like this Little John XL, and that rod helps me launch it. The rod is not just there to hold the reel, it's your slingshot. If the rod loads right, that bait goes a lot farther. And if you're wade fishing shallow flats, potholes, grass lines, or open water, that extra distance can be the difference between getting bit and just casting practice. Now here's one of the biggest casting distance killers, your leader knot. I'm running about a 2-foot fluorocarbon leader tied to braid with an Alberto knot. But when I reel up to cast, I do not want that knot going through the first eyelet. If that knot is inside the guide when you cast it, it creates friction. Friction kills distance. It slows the bait down. It makes the cast feel rough, and it can even help create loops that turn into wind knots. So before I cast, I want that knot sitting just outside the first guide. If I accidentally reel it up too far, I work it back out until the knot is an inch or two past the first eyelet. That one little habit can instantly clean up your cast. Here's the casting sequence. Take your pointer finger and grab the line. Pull that line up against the rod, then open the bail. Now I like to grab the lower part of the rod with my other hand. That gives me extra leverage. Then I make the cast and point the rod tip right to where I want that bait to go. That's important. Don't just sling it and hope. Point the rod at the target. Where that rod tip finishes is where that bait is going to go. That right there was probably around 40 to 50 yards, and that's with a light inshore bait. Now pay attention to this one. After the cast, I close the bail with my hand, not the reel. If you crank the handle to close the bail, you can leave slack loops in the spool, and those loops are what turn into those nasty wind knots that come flying off your reel 3 casts later. After I close the bail, I look right here. This is the line roller. That line needs to be seated in the roller before I start reeling. If the line is loose, crossed up, or laying on the spool wrong, I stop and fix it before I crank the handle. What I want is a clean, tight line coming from the lure into the roller and onto the spool. No loops, no slack, no mess. That is how you prevent wind knots with a spinning reel. Let me know in the comments what gives you the most trouble with a spinning reel. So here's the whole process. Leader knot outside the first guide, finger on the line, open the bail. Use 2 hands to cast. Cast and point the rod tip at your target. Close the bail by hand, make sure the line is in the roller, check for slack, then start your retrieve. There's not a lot to it, but those simple steps there will keep you casting, will get you good long casts, will keep the wind knots out of your line, and keep you on the water fishing a lot more than dealing with snags or short casts. You're going to catch a lot more fish on those long casts out there. I catch probably 80–90% of my fish. There's a fish right there. Out there when it's toward the end of the cast. Little trout. And he spit it. All right, Thanks for playing. Today I'm throwing a Little John XL. That's about a 4-inch soft plastic, and it's a great search bait when I'm looking for trout or redfish. I'll also add a little Procure mullet scent. Just a little bit. Rub it around the bait. You don't have to paint the whole thing like you're frosting a cake. Just enough to give it some scent and maybe make a fish hold on a little longer. The bait may look appetizing, but scent can entice that fish to bite harder and hold on longer, helping to set the hook. And sometimes that split second is the difference between a hookup and a fish just bumping it. Now let's talk about wind. When I'm wade fishing, I try to position the boat and my wade so the wind is at my back. If the wind is blowing 10 to 15 miles an hour and I can cast downwind, I'm going to get a much longer cast. But if I turn around and cast straight into the wind, that wind will cause a shorter cast and can blow slack line right back toward the spool. That slack creates loops, and loops create wind knots. So whenever possible, cast with the wind or quartering with the wind. Don't fight it all day if you don't have to. Use it. Let the wind help you bomb that bait out further. That is one of the simplest ways to get more distance with a spinning reel. Another simple thing I like to have is a rod ruler. This one goes to about 30 inches and it lets me quickly check a fish while I'm wading. If you're fishing for speckled trout in Texas, that matters. You want to know if that fish is legal before you make a decision to keep it. The other thing I've started using is this floating wade basket. This is just a laundry basket zip tied to a pool noodle. Stupid simple, but it works. The reason I like this is if I catch a trout that's close to the top of the slot, I don't want to stick it with a stringer and then get back to the boat and realize it's too long. If that fish is 20 1/4 inches, now you've got a problem. With the basket, the fish stays alive and I can double check it before I make that final decision. It's better for the fish, better for the fishery, and it keeps you out of trouble. Let me know in the comments if you have switched to a wade basket. Whoa, that one came all the way out of the water. I want to be an airborne ranger. That's a ladyfish. Some people call them tourist tarpon. They're not what I'm after, but I'll tell you what, they're a lot of fun. They jump, they run, and they make you think you've got something serious for about 2 seconds. So if you want to cast further with a spinning reel, remember these simple steps. Keep your leader knot outside the first guide. Use your pointer finger to control the line. Open the bail. Use 2 hands for leverage. Point the rod where you want the lure to go. Close the bail by hand. Make sure the line is seated in the line roller. Check for slack before you reel. And whenever possible, cast with the wind at your back. That's how you get more distance. Prevent wind knots and keep your bait out there where the fish are. Because the further you can cast, the more water you cover. The more water you cover, the more time your bait spends in the strike zone. And the more time your bait spends in the strike zone, the better chance you have of getting bit. Hey, if this helped you, hit the like button. It tells YouTube to show this video to more fishermen who are tired of fighting short casts and wind knots. And if you missed the video where I set up this Shimano Stratex reel, watch that one right here. Tight lines and I'll see you out there on the water.